Hello and welcome back to Sherwood Park Toyota. Today we're looking at a Toyota Land Cruiser Premium in the color Underground. Let's take a look. Starting up front, underneath the hood, we have the gas component of the hybrid energy system. It is a turbocharged iForce Max 2.4-liter L4 engine. It is automatic transmission. Gets up to 326 horsepower, 465 pound-foot of torque. You also have towing capacity up to 6,000 pounds. Up front, you've got your LED headlights, customary daytime running lights, and we have the Rigid Industries fog lights down below. Currently, we have them set to their yellow color, but these can be set to that same white light as you have in your headlamps. We'll look at the controls for those when we get inside of the front driver's seat. Then, across your front bumper, you've got these little round nodules. These guys are the front parking sensors. Up front, you also have your front-facing camera. On to the side here, we've got 20-inch alloy wheels, factory running boards. Side mirrors include integrated turn signals, blind spot monitoring, and then you have additional cameras on the side there that contribute to your surround view camera effect. If you take a look at either one of your front handles, you'll find this little dimple. We'll talk about that guy a bit more on the driver's side. Heading back, all of your rear windows come with factory tinting, and up top we have black roof rails. Now, on the back of the unit here, just like the front, you've got backup parking sensors the whole way across. On the right, you also have your iForce Max Hybrid badge. On the left is your Land Cruiser badge. Underneath of the rear logos is your backup camera. One last thing on the back here is if you look in the bottom left corner of the glass, you'll find this little button. Reach and give that guy a press. You'll hear and see the glass of the rear windshield pop up. You can use this little handle underneath of the rear windshield wiper to lift it the rest of the way upwards. This gives you quick, easy access into your cargo space. It can also be useful that if you're carrying some cargo for a short distance that doesn't quite fit into the back here, you can just pop open this hatch and then you have yourself a little bit of extra wiggle room. Lastly, inside here we have this additional camera right in the middle. We'll talk about the function of this guy when we get up front again. So to close it up, just reach up to the glass, pull it back down. Don't be shy about it. Make sure it closes all the way. It's not going to lift back up because otherwise you won't be able to open up your rear cargo hatch. So to open that up, reach underneath of the Y and the O, press the button, and it should automatically rise itself upwards. So inside here, second row seating has a 60-40 split you can see on the left. It allows the two sides to function independently. We'll take a closer look at the functions for those when we get up there with that. Then you have across the back your interior cargo cover. So this guy extends out, locks into place on these little hooks on either side, and helps to keep private any goods you keep stored below so that others aren't able to look in through your rear windows and see what goods you've got. We also have the Land Cruiser carpeted mats back here, still in their original factory packaging. Lots of storage space on either side, as well as having access to some additional charger ports inside of there as well. You can see those guys glowing. Then in each one of the four corners, you'll find these little silver tie-down hooks. You can use these guys to further secure your cargo, or you can use them how we have the two of these used up front right now, which is to secure your cargo net. So this guy has the main purpose of helping to hold things in place. It has this built-in envelope design here, which means it acts as a pouch. You can tuck some goods inside of there to help keep them close to the front or close to the back if that's what you prefer, or close to either side, tied down across the ground. Whatever setup you choose, it helps to keep them secured in one location. And then you have quick, easy access to them whenever you want them as well. Typically, when you have this installed, you'll also hook these guys up to these little hooks you have on the side. So it'll be sitting in an upright position that goes the whole way across the back. And again, you can have it set up in the back of the unit. You can have it set up on one side, the other. Some people will stretch it across the back so that it acts across the floorboard to keep things tucked downwards. Lots of different arrangements available for whatever your needs happen to be. On the right-hand side, you'll also find a 12-volt adapter, and there are some interior lights that stem down on either side. Behind these little false walls on the left is where you're able to find access to your toolkit for your spare, or access to your battery, which is this bottom one right here. And to gain access to this, first you have to go underneath of this mat. This is the interior cargo mat. This guy's got a couple jobs. First off, this helps protect your vehicle from damage from your cargo. It is made of this nice, thick, durable rubber. It is, of course, the Land Cruiser branded one specifically. This guy gives extra padding to your vehicle as well as some extra traction via this texturing on it to help reduce the amount of movement of any goods that are in the back here. It also exists on the back of the second row seats, and the other job is to keep your space nice and clean. You can simply pick this up and remove it out of the space. The ones on the back of the seats are just stuck on with some Velcro patches, so you could just peel them off. Then you can just rinse or shake any dirt or debris off of this so that it doesn't cling to the interior. Now, it's a little bit hard to see just because we do have this pinned on top right now, but underneath there is an additional mat. This is also the Land Cruiser labeled one. This guy acts much more like a typical carpeted interior mat, but underneath of both of these, it's a little hard to see, but you can see the seam at the back here. There are these little false floor panels that run across the back, and underneath of them is additional storage space. This is also where you're able to gain access to this false wall panel where your battery exists, should you need to, and we do have some videos covering this more in depth if you want to learn more about that. To close up your space back here, you can reach up to the handle on the left-hand side, or just press one of the buttons on the right. One of them will simply close it, and the other will close and lock all at once. Next, let's go take a look at the inside. So, inside here, your interior upholstery is the black leather. It has light gray stitching for some contrast, and you have this texturing on the middle panels of the seats as well. In between the two sides, there is, of course, a folding down armrest / cup holder, which you could just as easily tuck away to increase seating capacity. Then on the side of the seat is where you have this little diagram. It shows different ways that you can adjust your seats. So this is a little bit easier if you tuck this up and away. On the side of the seat, you have this little handle. If you give this guy a pull, it will allow your seat to fold up all the way. It's very easy to do with simply with one hand. So this way you can gain quick, easy access into your cargo space in the back here, or move the seat upwards just for any cargo needs. You can also simply have it folded flat downwards if you just want to have it folded in that manner, as is the traditional way of just folding seats forward. Now, looking up, you have on the back of your front passenger and front driver seats this pouch storage. Back of the console, you have your third air conditioning control panel. So this allows for your second row occupants to control their own temperature, mode, and fan speed. This panel can be controlled from up front. We'll take a look at that when we get up there. Underneath is where you have all of your charger ports, and currently we have the Land Cruiser rubber mats installed inside. Inside of the door, you have some of this lighting down below there. Then you have your cup holder and storage spaces, power window, and you can see here one of the 14 JBL speakers. You have this premium JBL speaker sound system all throughout your vehicle. Now, backing into this little dimple, this guy indicates keyless entry. So if you have the key fob on your person, you can simply tap your hand on the symbol or inside the handle to lock and unlock your unit. Inside driver's door, you've got your power windows here for both front and back. You've got your window lock, power lock system, and side mirror controls. All the way up top here, this allows you to fold your side mirrors in flat with the body of your unit. So you can keep it set to automatic. They'll fold and unfold when you lock and unlock with a key fob, or you can manually adjust these at any point in time. Then underneath of the handle is your memory seat settings, which of course means you have electronic seat adjustment, back, front, up, down, and lumbar support. We also have illuminated entry in this unit. Of course, it's a little hard to see because we do have this being shown in the daylight, but it glows even nicer at nighttime. Inside here, down below, you have your hood release latch, then you have your trailer brake controls, controls for your AC 120 volt, your power trunk release and gas release, then you have the fog light controls. So you can see that it has an orange light on it right now. If you press it, it will turn to white, and this changes the color of the headlamps up front. So as stated up top, we had the yellow-green color instead down below. Now we have switched it to the white, and you'll get a better look at that even more so when we are wrapping up the video and doing our final walk around. Then you've got your controls for dash brightness, you have your rear parking sensors and automatic headlamps, then you have power tilt and telescopic steering. Taking a closer look at the steering wheel, it is black leather with black stitching, much like the seats. Up top, you have your paddle shifter. We also have this little feature. It helps you to pay attention as the driver, so it will give you little warnings when it can sense that your eyes are not focused forward. So this is really cool to have, and just is a better safety feature. Then left hand side here, controls there are for the dash display. Then you've got your hands-free communication and your volume control. Right hand side, radio controls on the bottom, adaptive cruise control up top, which includes, of course, both sonar and lane departure. On top of your dash, straight upwards, you'll find this little cutout there. Then if you look up, you might be able to see there's a couple of metrics being displayed there. This is your heads-up display. It allows you to keep your eyes on the road without having to take them on and off to keep an eye on some of your most important information. And right now we have some of the information, including your sonar distance. So for your cruise control, it shows you how far out the sonar is currently reaching. You can also see your speedometer displayed up there. Really great feature to have. Once you've driven a car for a while with it, it's hard to go back to driving without it. Now, in the middle here is where you have your infotainment display screen. This is where you go to access much of the information about your daily driving experience. Right now, you are taking a look at your optional navigation, which you can choose to connect through Toyota Connected Services. Then audio listening, AM, FM satellite radio, full Bluetooth connectivity includes Android Auto and Apple CarPlay, and there's optional USB adapters throughout. Then you have your phone connectivity, so this is how you connect your phone via Bluetooth. You would also use this for hands-free communication. Got a couple things in here. You've got your climate display, so you have your options for your Eco Heat Cool and rear windshield de-icer. Then you have controls for both the rear and front displays. You also have inside, of course, typical trip information. And lastly, you have off-road information. So this is really cool to keep an eye on if you're ever going on some rougher terrain, and it will give you lots of interesting information going on. All the way at the bottom here is where you have all of your various settings. So this is everything from personal profile, Bluetooth information, Wi-Fi display, voice search, dealer info, updates, apps, etc. Left-hand corner is where you've got your volume control. Underneath here, you've got your four-ways, and then climate control center. So we do have dual climate control up front here, which means that driver and front passenger can either have their own unique temperature settings, or you can choose to have them synced up so they work together in unison. Then you have the defrost for front and rear windshield here. On each side we have 3 levels for heated and cooled seats. Then you have your heated steering wheel all the way on the right hand side, and you have the switch here for the controls of that rear panel as discussed. So you can turn that on. You can choose to either have this synced up to the front or not, or you can simply control it for them, or you can allow them to control it for themselves. Tons of different options to make sure everybody can be comfortable at all times. Left of this, you have your push start ignition, then you have your tow haul mode. Back to the middle, you have your mode selects along the left-hand side. You have your drive mode, MTS, and downhill/crawl. Then back up top here, you have your surround view camera. So reach in and give that a press, and you'll find that your infotainment turns to this full surround view look of the vehicle in real time. You can also change your perspective at any point if you want to get higher or lower from the vehicle itself, and you can even pause it if you want to keep looking in your current direction. More adjustments for this are in the bottom left-hand corner. To get rid of the screen, you can either press the same button you did to bring it upwards, or just press the X in your top left-hand corner. Underneath there, you have all of your charger and adapter options. Then we have the wireless charging pad to the right. So this guy is compatible with any wireless charging device. Nice thing about having this, it means that you don't have to have the charger for your phone on you anymore ever again. Of course, if that is your preference, you do have lots of different adapters available to you. This also has this nice built-in tray design, and it is having this texture that is a little bit hard to capture on camera, but it is definitely something you can feel. And this just makes sure that your phone is going to be nice and secure when it is in that space, not going to be slip-sliding around. Next to that, there is a little bit of extra storage on the left there. Then you have your gear shift, parking brake, and parking hold. In the back, you have adjustments for your traction control, your stab bar. You have your diff locks and your 2-wheel 4-high and 4-low controls. Cup holder spaces next to that. And then we have the console. Again, more of that light gray stitching that goes on the black leather, and it goes across both sides. This guy opens up, and inside here we actually have this cool little feature. If you can read this, it says Cool Box. You can turn this on or off. When you turn it on, you'll hear something that sounds a lot like an air conditioning fan, and that's pretty much exactly what's going on inside here. So this is essentially a mini fridge for you that is inside of the vehicle. Of course, this only runs when you have the vehicle turned on, so it's not going to keep running all the time, and it won't be draining your battery either. But it means when you're out and on the road, you can always have somewhere to have a cool drink available to you. Now, to the right, down below, you've got a lockable glove box. Up overhead on the rear view mirror, 1, 2, and 3 dots, those guys are garage door openers. We have a nice normal reflective mirror right now, but you can flip the switch, and it turns to a camera view behind yourself instead. This takes advantage of that little camera that I pointed out when we opened up the little glass hatch in the back there. So the reason for this feature, or the nice thing about having it, is that sometimes when you're driving, you have either people or cargo that are blocking your view, that are being distractions, and that can make it hard to keep an eye on the traffic behind yourself. So if that is an issue that's going on in the vehicle for you, you can just flip the switch there, and then you are looking directly out the back. You don't have to worry about what's going on inside of your cab, taking away from your ability to keep an eye on traffic behind. Then, on top, you've got your SOS button, overhead lighting controls, and controls up there for your moonroof. Thanks again, folks, for joining us on this full video tour for this Toyota Land Cruiser Premium in the color Underground. It is located here at Sherwood Park Toyota at 31 Automall Road in Sherwood Park, Alberta. You can also reach us at 780-306-7703. And remember, life is full of choices. Let us be yours.